Hi there, I'm just checking to see if we're coming on because we had that problem. Doesn't look like we are. Here we go. Okay. Well, I see us. It's been 25 seconds. So, welcome. Welcome to our Wednesday. It's been 1 week. 1 week since that day in the Capitol. I remember getting together last week and really needing it. So it's continued to need it, even though there was an impeachment today and someone was held responsible. Today, or this week in the Torah portions, is when Moses goes for the first time to Pharaoh. But God says, listen, I'm going to harden Pharaoh's heart. So he's not going to heed you. But I want you to go in and I want you to do this stuff, and then I'll harden his heart, and then he'll know that I'm God because I'm going to do all of these incredible things, which are the plagues. And there was an interpretation, I think it was Menachem Mendel of Kotzk who said it, but I'll have to check on that. That this was done so that Pharaoh could have free will in making his decision to let the Israelites go. Which seems like it's kind of going against the grain there, because if he had free will, once the first plague came, he might have said, okay, go ahead. But since God hardened his heart, he didn't do that. So his free will might have been to let the people go. And the explanation is, if someone does something out of fear, like as a fear reaction, then they're not really doing it on free will. They're doing it because this thing made them afraid. And that takes away their free will. So when something happens and we react to it in an incredibly strong way, we're not acting on the way we would want to act. We're acting because this thing happened to us, and then we're acting. And that if Pharaoh's heart was hardened sooner or later, Pharaoh would let them go because he needed to let them go for him, not because he was afraid. Don't know if I agree with that in terms of the story of the Israelites, but it is an interesting idea. And the way I think it relates to what we do is that when we set out during this half hour to think about our life, or to not think about our life, but for our life thoughts to come into our head, we can see, right, wow, I'm really afraid of that. Or that made me angry, right? I've talked about this many times. And that by kind of not putting it down, but noticing it and giving it its place, that's what hardening the heart is, right? Hardening the heart means I'm not going to react to this from that first emotional burst, but I'm going to notice the feeling and then at some point react to it. But it's that first noticing, wow, that got me really mad. Oh my, I can't believe the way my body feels. Right? This is a trope that I'm going to say a million times because that's what this is about. Maybe it is hardening our hearts. I mean, I hadn't actually thought about that until I was thinking about what I wanted to talk about today. But maybe hardening our heart towards something is a protective device that we can use, not as a protective device, but as a kind of shield that says, all right, I'm going to notice this, and then I'm going to deal with it. Instead of, I'm going to deal with this. That's the difference. Kind of that knee-jerk reaction. Although, some say that instinct is what they like to go upon, right? If there's an instinct that comes to them, they want to go with it. And I think that's great to go with your instinct, but you could say, this is my instinct, it doesn't make me feel a certain way. Is this an okay way to go? It gives you that moment, that pause, to harden a little bit and then soften it and let it go. I don't know. it's one way to think about how the mindfulness practice works into those moments when something happens to us that would give us a knee-jerk reaction, and that we might regret what that is later. What happens actually later on at the end when Pharaoh in Bishalach, Rick Bishalach, not Vayishlach, in Bishalach, says go, and then regrets sending them and goes back after them. Right? So perhaps he hadn't even learned the lesson, was still doing that knee-jerk reaction even at the end. But it's designed to be that I'm going to let them go, or I'm going to do this thing because that's my free will to do that. That's what I have decided to do based upon everything that's coming towards me and what I do with it. So let's get quiet. Get ourselves into a nice position. I feel like I'm up against something today. Okay. I'm just going to remind us all that we're just breathing regular. And we're just noticing our bodies, noticing our breath. What does our breath do to us? What is happening inside of our bodies as we breathe? Is there an area that we need to kind of relax on certain breaths? Take that in. But more than that, we're just kind of allowing everything just to be as it is for now. For this time that we're quiet. Just allowing things to be for now. And that includes the thoughts that are going to come into our heads. If you notice that you've been thinking and you're not concentrating on your breath, just bring yourself back to your breath. Sometimes I find myself thinking about that I need to be concentrating on my breath and saying, oh, this is good because right now I'm really concentrating on my breath, but I'm not. I'm concentrating on the idea that I'm concentrating on my breath. Here we go. In our last remaining minutes, it's Wednesday. We ask for two really important feelings. May I feel luminous. May I feel loved. May I feel luminous and light, shining and glowing. Whether it's to knowledge or creativity or friendship, it's luminous. And may I feel loved. I also offer and invite you to say, if you'd like, may I feel love. If you feel like that is a feeling that you're having a tough time grappling with. May I feel luminous. May I feel loved. May I feel loved. May I feel luminous. May I feel luminous and loved. May I feel luminous. May I feel loved. If you'd like to invite someone to be in front of you in your mind's eye and offer to them, may you feel luminous. May you feel loved. May you feel loved and luminous. You'll stay there a couple of breaths. May you feel luminous. May you feel loved. May you feel luminous. May you feel loved. And then just bring it back to yourself. May I feel luminous. May I feel loved. May I feel luminous and loved. Feel that light and love against you. May I feel luminous. May I feel loved. And when you're ready, let's just finish by going into our breath for just several breaths. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you feel luminous, and may you feel loved, and have a beautiful evening. Take care.